and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm doing part 2 of the Kiki's delivery service mini-series, I guess. Initially, I thought it would take less time than the first one. If you haven't seen the first one, you should go watch it. I will have it linked up in the iCard. The first painting, it only took me about 7 hours to film and paint and do the sketching and everything. This painting that I did today took me 9 hours, which I didn't think was possible. I definitely thought it was going to take up less time, maybe 5 hours, just because it is a less complicated image. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that I could get it done in significantly less time. But I do think that only 7 hours was the actual sketching and painting process, while there were 2 hours for filming. And I think that filming and taking care of my camera and readjusting the lighting took me an additional 2 hours because I think I was more deliberate with camera angles this time. I wanted to make sure that when I was painting in like the larger portions that it wasn't like super close, because it's not something that you want to be like super up close for. But when I was painting the details, I wanted to make sure that you could actually see that I was painting the details. And I've noticed that that's not a consistent theme throughout my videos. Most of the time I just kind of turn on the camera and forget about it, and I wanted to be more deliberate about making sure that I was getting good camera angles, making sure that the lighting was good, and making sure that you could see what I was doing. So yeah, I was more deliberate with camera angles. I readjusted the camera quite a few times, and the battery died on me, I think 2 times, which the first time I think I caught pretty immediately, but the second time I didn't catch it, and so there's going to be this gap towards the end where you don't see the entirety of the painting process, just because I didn't notice that the camera was off. I wish that there was like some way for my camera to tell me. I don't know, it might be something that the camera does have and that I just haven't found in my settings, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to film videos and while you're filming the videos, like focus on trying to improve the quality of your videos while also trying to make sure that you're focusing enough on your art to show improvement. So with this painting, I took a different approach than I did with the first painting. The first painting that I did, I blocked in the shadows first, just so that I could help my brain comprehend, I guess, the different areas. Because there were just a lot of details sketched in, and it was kind of blurred together in my brain for whatever reason. So I just needed to lay down a couple layers to kind of break it up and make it seem more manageable. For the painting that I did today, I started, this is gonna sound like so stupid, but I started with the back and like the background, and then I just moved to the foreground. And I promise that I've painted like this dozens of times before. But you know, it's only something that I do when I'm doing a complicated background, but I don't do those often enough for that way of painting to stick in my brain. Most of the time I paint the subject and then I paint, you know, just a color block of the background, which I'm realizing, you know, I probably shouldn't only be doing that, and I should do more detailed backgrounds, but that's just the way that I'm used to painting. And so when I was doing the first painting, that approach didn't occur to me, and I realized that would have made it so much easier. And that's also why I thought it was going to take less time for this second painting, because when I did the first painting, I would have to go back and repaint parts that I accidentally got parts of the, like, where I accidentally painted over things that were supposed to be in the foreground or like in front of the objects that I was painting behind them, if that makes any sense. And so that took a lot of my time when I was painting the first one, Sorry, my voice changed because my cat decided to start scratching my keyboard. So painting the backgrounds this time I thought was going to take significantly less time. What if I would just, painted the background first and then I layered things on top of it, which, it would make sense. I wouldn't have to be like super careful when I'm doing the backgrounds because I'm going to end up painting over the edges anyways. So it makes sense in my brain that would have taken less time for painting, but I guess the painting process still took exactly the same amount of time. So I think that when I'm starting the last painting, I'm just going to assume that it's going to take me the same amount of time. When I was doing the sketches, each of the sketches took me an hour. So when I'm talking about the time that I spent painting, I'm just kind of adding on that additional hour since I did do the sketches last week when I did the first painting. Going into this painting, I did actually have a couple goals in mind. I didn't think about any goals or any specific things that I wanted to focus on when I was doing the first painting, and I think that that's part of where it went wrong. Not that my first one on this page is bad by any means. I'm really happy with how it came out, but there are a couple things that I just wish that I had done a little bit differently. This go around, I definitely wanted to focus on color mixing because I have a really hard time matching colors, and with gouache it is particularly difficult because darker colors, they dry darker and lighter colors will dry lighter, so it's kind of hit and miss when you're mixing colors. And so I just wanted to focus on getting as close to the original colors as I possibly could, and I think that saved this piece a lot. The second goal that I had was to improve my brush technique, and that's because I'm just not very good at painting small details. But this time, so when I was doing my last piece, I got this brush a couple weeks ago that's very thin and very long, and I've never used a brush like that, so it was very intimidating for me to use, which is why I didn't use it on the first painting. I used it in this painting, and I cannot explain how much it changes this entire process. It made things so much easier when I was doing the details. I have only one of these brushes. I'm gonna need more. It's my new favorite brush. Yeah, I don't know how I've been painting all of this time without this brush. It helped me a lot when it came to the line art. It is so easy to control, which I was super worried about it because I thought it was going to be more difficult to control with the longer bristles, but it was actually much easier to control than any other brush that I've used. I would usually use just a regular round brush, and those, I don't know if it's just round brushes or if it's just because I don't like spending a lot of money on brushes, but when I use round brushes for small details, they just end up being crap. So using this very thin, long brush, I was like, you know what, this is not going to make my painting any worse than it would be if I used a round brush. So I'm just going to go for it. I completely forgot what the name is of this type of brush, just because, I've never used it before, but I will probably put it on screen or something so that I can share. Maybe somebody else needs this. I'm still very new to learning about different types of brushes, just because my painting experience, though I've been painting for several years, like my entire life, it's always been just kind of having fun, not something that I necessarily want to improve. Like drawing was my main thing and painting was my fun thing, So I didn't really ever want to improve my painting skills until these last couple months that I've been on YouTube. I've been really getting into using gouache, and my early gouache paintings, they're not great. You know, they aren't great. I'll leave it at that. But they're also not the worst. I suck at picking colors that go well together, and that's something that I'm trying to work on. But also, I think I just need to learn more about painting and brushes, and of course, gouache. I think that I've learned quite a bit, but you know, there's always room for improvement. During the last painting that I did, I was only really drawing animals. For the last month or so, I've only been really sketching animals when I'm not working on YouTube stuff. And so the way that I draw people, like the stylization of them, I haven't put any focus on, I haven't put any practice into, and I kind of forgot the way that I draw people. So when I drew the first one, Kiki looks a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, she looks a little weird. So I think I'm gonna go back and fix that in the last video of this series. The really funny thing was that when I sat down today to start my painting, I was planning on finishing the spread today because I was like, there's no way that this painting is gonna take, that either one of these last paintings are going to take even remotely the amount of time that the first one did, because there aren't as many details. It's not as complicated. They're not as complicated of like drawings or pieces, or you know what I mean, like screenshots, whatever. I thought that there was no way that these two paintings could take even remotely as long as the first one did, because they are not as complicated, they're less detailed, there's just not as much work, or at least that's what I thought. So I thought that I was going to sit down and be able to, you know, put these two paintings in one video. I was wrong. So when I originally had this idea to go back to the Kiki's delivery service paintings, or like go back to the idea of painting screen captures from Kiki's delivery service, I wanted to, of course, redraw the one that I did 2 months ago, I think it was. And I got carried away with the sketching process and decided, you know what, let's do 3. You know, 3 paintings, 1 spread. It'll be simple, right? And so I wanted to put all 3 of these in the same video, which you probably got that feeling from the community post that I put out, where I posted the pictures of all 3 of them, and it was like, oh, hey, this is the upcoming video that I'm working on. Well, it didn't end up being all in one video, obviously, because they're each taking me 7 hours to complete the painting. I kind of felt bad making these into 3 videos, and then I wanted to make sure that I finished this spread this month. Otherwise, I there's no way that I would have actually come back to the spread if I didn't finish it this month. Like, I'm getting to the end of my sketchbook here. If I finished my sketchbook, I would never finish the spread. So I wanted to make sure I got it done this month. And if I put out the videos all this month, that'd be 3 videos. That would have been every week for the rest of the month. That would have been all of my uploads this month. So I'm putting in bonus videos in between, which it's been fun, but it hasn't been the easiest to do. It's definitely been easier than the process that I used to have with making videos, because I've switched over my editing process into a much easier system that actually makes sense. The way that I was doing it before, it didn't make sense, but it was just me using what I had. I am doing vlogmas this year. Instead of doing daily videos, I am going to be uploading 3 times a week in December up until Christmas time, or up until Christmas Day, you know. So it's been a little bit difficult filming all of these videos for November. I've been wanting to kind of cut back so that I could focus on December videos, but I think I'm making good time on these videos. I think I'm doing them in an efficient way. I'm just a little bit worried about burning out because I don't want to, of course, spend so much time and energy on November videos that I burn out right before December, like I did with September and October. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. So I'm trying to make sure that I am taking care of myself and that I'm not pushing myself too hard. But I think I'm in a good flow of creating art and videos. I'm trying to alternate between super difficult to make videos and easy to make videos, just to make this as smooth as a process as I can get. Going back to the painting, my technique, I think, has definitely improved. My entire painting process, I think, has transformed over the last couple months that I've been really focusing on painting. My line quality, I think, is better, especially with this new brush, and I definitely feel myself improving, and that's been a big confidence booster, and I'm super excited to see where my art goes. I don't really know what direction that I want to go in. I know that I want to continue to improve my art skills, but I'm focusing more on my technical skills right now, just because I'm not sure what direction I want to go in, which then begs the question, how do I know if I'm improving? Because improvement is based on like how do you want to improve? You can't improve if you don't know what you're working towards, if that makes any sense. So it's been a little bit of a complicated process trying to improve my art, but not also know what direction I want to go in, and then doing that at the same time as trying to improve my videos. It's a little bit of a lot. That's all that I really had to say for this video. I hope that my voiceover part makes it until the end, because I'm trying to talk more in my videos. I'm not very good at being chatty, so I'm trying to make sure that I write down enough bullet points to fill the video, and I hope I did that this time. I thought I did in my last video, which I definitely did not. I only ended up talking for like half the video, so hopefully I did better this time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, give this video a like. Subscribe if you want to see more art videos. I'm really trying to improve my video making skills, the video quality, my art skills. So if you want to follow my journey, see how I improve, I would love that. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.